live! Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens, episode 46. We're here. We've arrived. How are y'all feeling, gang?
Good. I'm excited to do a double.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah, so you all know, I mean, watching or listening, you won't, notice this probably, but we're doing a double episode today, and what I love about these is that we're usually super spicy by the second recording, so,
True.
So, it's good. We're ramping up to that, so let's see what fuel we can put on that fire with this first recording. But anyway, hey everybody, welcome. We're the Venture Maidens. We're a D&D 5th edition / Tales of the Valiant, actual play podcast and live stream. I will say this is a very adult-themed stream, so you can, of course, expect themes of sexual content, fantasy, violence. In general, we do put a content warning up just for body horror, just to cover that kind of violent base. I don't anticipate any other content warnings for this episode in particular, but that could always change, so just make sure to keep your eye on the chat if you're in the stream, or the show notes if you are listening via the podcast. Yeah, but that's it. I'm excited. Let's dive in. So, hey everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich, and tonight I will be your game master.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I'm playing Laveri Sath, your drow rogue.
Hello, I'm Nassim Etamad. I'm playing your half-orc fighter and druid, Tony Silvertail.
And what's up? I am Sage, and tonight I will be Aoife Flannery, your brash bard.
Nice. I need to find a way, Nassim, to fit fighter and druid on your little overlay, but half-orc fighter is already so long.
I know, it is.
We'll figure it out.
A lot of hyphens.
A lot of hyphens.
Tiny font.
What does that say? I don't know. It's a mystery.
Just call her a Drider. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
There you go. Aragorn. So with that, hell yeah. We had a lot going on last time. We're coming off of some downtime episodes where we got a bunch of new clues, got some new abilities, talked to people in dreams, all kinds of stuff. So before we dive in, tell me, babes, what happened last time on Venture Maidens?
Take it away, Sage. You know you're gonna.
we're all waiting, looking at Sage.
They're just watching to be like, maybe today it'll be different. It's not.
It's never different. No.
It's just like in class where everyone eventually learns that I'm the student who will just have to fill that silence.
That's great.
When a teacher asks a question and they're like, you get the 1, 2, 3 beat, and I'm like, so.
Yeah. You see everybody just slink down in their desk chairs a little bit, and you're like, all right, take it away. All
right, I guess I'll take this one. So last time on Venture Maidens, we were picking up with some downtime. We finished up on a lot of our information gathering quests. So Luvira working on becoming a wizard. She had spoken to Cassie, and Cassie gave us some information, both when she spoke to Lou and when Aoife followed up with her about this creature called the Collector.
The Curator?
Collector? Curator. Okay.
Yeah.
The Curator, which is a demon. So between talking to Cassie, getting some info from...
Sorry.
Oh, it's a devil. Okay. Let me change that in my notes.
Lesser devils. So not just your standard run-of-the-mill devil in your monster manual, not one of your, archdevils, but the guy smack in the middle.
Yeah, sort of on the same power level as a Duke of the Fey Court, and kind of also adjacent to the devil hierarchy. And because they don't have a name, they don't have enough power to really possess a name. But what we do know is that this creature does like to collect very notable souls. And while they don't need to consume the souls in order to fuel their devil power, they do like to collect them and maintain a collection and grow their collection of notable heroes, political figures, all these kind of people they're very interesting to them. And so that is where we found out that the Krellans are being held by this devil creature. And Bartleby had given us the information that, one, Bartleby knew that I had scryed upon it, and that it was nearby somewhere in the mortal plane for sure. Bartleby wasn't exactly sure where, but its presence is definitely known by important people in the area, and so that was definitely like the number one red flag of like, one, this is on the radar, and we're on its radar, and everyone knows that we're on its radar.
Yeah, there is a turf issue that is about to happen. Yes.
Yes, and so Aoife and Bartleby decided to work together and exchange information in the beneficial exchange of neither of us wants this in our backyard. And yeah, Tony and Aoife had a banging night out in the club, getting all the free drinks, didn't pay for anything, and had the best night ever letting loose. While Luveris had a wonderful night in with Cassie.
Yeah, Lou, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Oh my god. Talk about it.
I mean, if you insist.
Lucy and Cassie.
So basically, Lou had gone to see Cassie, check in with her, and tell her everything that happened about ignoring any urges to go towards like a Corellan or towards a Balor artifact, whatever she felt. And then also to tell her about the experience with Jada. And while they were talking about all those things, they made it official. They're girlfriends now.
Status in a relationship.
Update it on Facebook. No, Lou would never use social media. Anyway, but so in that conversation, and in the discussion, we kind of enlisted Cassie to help us do research on this devil, and also Cassie gave Lou a charm that would essentially warn her when undead were around, so that she could have an upper hand in Jada kind of popping in when she wasn't wanted, while Lou is in process of figuring that shit out. So after that, they said goodbye, and Lou went back and met up with everyone to discuss what had happened and then get ready to meet up with the Serena's contact.
Oh, yeah, so you met the contact. Tell me about that.
Ooh, yeah. So we met him in Chauciana, and it turned out to be none other than Duke Ravain, head of the military force in the Empire, in the Eldrin Empire, and rumored to be the Tsarina's Bay.
Secret Bay.
Rumored
Secret
Bay.
And so we brought him back into the chicken hut, and he discovered that Aoife is indeed a fae, because she was still in her fae form. But he was incredibly diplomatic and kind and apologetic for being surprised at this discovery. And yeah, which was a change, because we have yet to see someone actually be reasonable about the presence of a fae creature from the mortal side. So Aoife is definitely on her good side. And let's see, we had a good chat. Yeah, Tony got to hang out with the Commander-in-Chief, basically.
Yeah, met a little hero of mine, big hero of mine, but that was a good time. I feel a lot more comfortable carrying out the quest ahead.
Yeah.
Honestly, like one time I've ever been like, you know what? You should meet your heroes.
the
Right?
one time. It actually
time.
worked.
Yeah, this actually worked out.
Yeah.
This was lovely. We made lasagna. We had a good time.
Yeah. Even Rook seems to be, it's just quiet acceptance. It hasn't been anything spicy, so Ravain seems to be aces all around.
That's like when you're dating a new person and you bring them home and your dog doesn't like them. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with this person?
God, no.
But if they like them, you're
murderer.
like, so when are we setting the wedding date?
Yeah. All right, my dog loves you. You passed. Okay. Yeah. Essentially. And then we had a big old ending scene. Aoife, you want to talk about that?
So Aoife reached out to her contact in the sleeping court, Felix, who she has this dream dragon entity who she's not actually sure where Felix fits into the hierarchy of the sleeping court, but knows that this person means something.
Yeah, you know
this
he's
court.
not the sovereign, based on the way he's talking about it, but otherwise that's about it from what you've gotten.
Yeah, she suspects maybe a duke because he does seem rather powerful and was able to grant her powers, but unclear. So she spoke to him about her predicament that she has, in that it is very challenging walking around the mortal world being a fae, and if she is going to interface with these other fae courts, if she's going to want to return to Coven again, she's going to need some way in order to obscure her allegiance so that she can, do these things that she needs to accomplish, and that she doesn't hold her team back from their goals. And Felix was like, why would you ever do that? I don't...
Why would you not want to be fae? What? Yeah.
He's like, we have literally never ever considered that. So it's definitely seeming like the sleeping court is like stuck way in the past, has not updated their operating software whatsoever, and Aoife, fresh new blood coming, because they probably also don't get that many new recruits.
No.
So
I will say, yeah, you're the first in a long time. While the sleeping court, we know that the sleeping court is the oldest of the fae courts. Yeah, we don't know much about, and most of the other courts don't necessarily consider them an obvious threat from what you've sussed out, so maybe that is their whole... They're weird. They're working on a different...
yeah, just a different level.
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, but, like, I am a person who needs to maneuver around the world. And he's like, oh, I guess that does kind of make sense. And so through this arcane ritual of designating these ties that bind her and formally, magically separating this mortal and fae side of herself, was able to unlock this power in order to switch between incredibly painfully, but it is possible. So at the end of it, she was able to revert back to her normal mortal self and felt miserable.
Like
and
shit.
She is, is already missing being her fae self.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Great recap. A lot fucking happened, so great recap. Yeah, so that is exactly where we are picking up. You all had been able to come together at the end after taking care of your various downtime activities, getting a bunch of information, doing what you had to do, meeting up with Ravain Varys, Duke Ravain Varys, who is the Sarina's hand-chosen representative to basically go with you as sort of her ambassador to the Blossom Court. You all had met up with him, gotten back in the chicken hut, had a pretty nice, evening getting to know him, making some lasagna, and then before, saying goodnight, and Aoife had unlocked that ability. Now Aoife's mortal self is sort of preserved. Basically, you have these two disparate entities within you that you can switch back and forth between now. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, where we're going to pick up the action here is pretty much like the morning after, like whatever that sleep is. So you all are still like assembled in Cooper, right? On your way now to the entrance to the Blossom Court. About to officially embark on this mission, right? Accepting that invitation, going to meet the Blossom Sovereign, and trying to forge an alliance between two peoples that have never gotten along in the whole history of the universe. No worries. No pressure, gang. But yeah, so that's the morning. I'll say, at this point, we're probably 1 or 2 hours away from actually arriving at the court. So this is the time now for you all to, like, get back together, do any preparations. Aoife, so we did discuss, basically the way your new form works is by default, you're gonna be in your mortal state. You can, over the course of a minute, once per day, basically transform into your full fae self, and you will stay in that form until you revert back or until dawn comes around. So at this point, dawn has passed. Do you want to use that at dawn to go back into your fae form, or are you staying in your mortal form at this point?
Knowing that they are headed to the Blossom Court, she's definitely staying in her mortal form, and she sleeps in incredibly late, and she is struggling to get back into this rhythm again of being mortal, even though it's only been such a short jaunt in this fae form, but it already feels like such a huge change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did you think is the thing that Aoife, like the thing that hangs on you? Because so much was different about being immortal, like the way you saw the world, the way, not feeling the aches and pains of like being normal, not having hunger, not having to like poop. Like there's so much stuff that's different. What is the thing that Aoife is like really fixated on?
Her skin feels so dry, even though they're in this humid Chaosianan climate. Her skin just feels dry, and even she's started subconsciously biting at like the skin around her on her cuticles, and just like kind of biting her nails, and she's just having one of those off
sort of
day.
like wearing an itchy shirt, right? Like the minute you forget it's there, it just like brushes, and you remember like you're wearing your skin, and it's irritating you in a way that's just never. Yeah, your hair is coarse, and it's just. It couldn't have felt like this before, right? Like that's something you keep going back to. Like, how did I live with this before?
Like she's like, this was normal before. We'll get back into it. It's just a change. We'll get there.
Yeah. So Aoife is struggling to get up, I think. Tony, Lou, are you already down, ready? What's your morning looking like?
I
think
no, you go for it.
I think Lou was just probably a little bit like, oh wait, I need to. She got up early, when you're too drunk to sleep.
Yeah.
And you wake up in the middle of the night and you're hot and you're sweaty and you're like, I think I'm still drunk, but you can't really sleep. So she gets up in the middle of the night, tries to play some guitar, but it's like not working. It doesn't sound right. It's sloppy, and then eventually just kind of like passes out on the couch in the living space. So she's a little bit half asleep, half awake on the couch whenever everyone else comes down.
Yeah. So you did have, I think you had at least one night to like full on recover from your night at the club. So you have had a full day to recover, but yesterday was like a nasty hangover, wasted day. So maybe some of that is still still with
She
you.
hasn't really left the couch much. She's pretty much lived on that couch for that day.
Yeah. Good. So yeah, you are there. And Ravain, as early as you're up, Lou, if you're the first one up, he is there, fresh-faced, ready to go, clean-shaven, like, full armor, that soldier, like, 4 a.m., let's go, mentality is clearly still with him. So he steps out probably at the same time you would, I think.
Yeah, and Lou just kind of like looks at him, like raises her eyebrows because she's used to like having a few hours to herself in the morning, and she is gonna just go walk to the tea kettle, put the tea on, and just hold out a finger and be like, I require an hour. And start prepping breakfast.
He sort of smiles to himself and nods and won't say anything. He'll sort of creep down like a little after you and like go into the living room area and just start futzing around. We haven't really talked about this before, but it's kind of general cabin core decor inside. But are there any like books or anything, games or like board games, anything in the living room that is notable for him to futz with?
There's got to be at least like a deck of cards and a little card table. Yeah. Probably like maybe just like a backgammon set, I imagine.
Yeah, something like that. There's like a little one of those dusty shelves you might see in the bed and breakfast, right? It's like got some old books that are like faded titles and a little like sewing box that has cards and stuff. So he's just like making himself, entertaining himself. He does get out a deck of cards and start just like playing solitaire with himself, in the table, being quiet and leaving you alone, Lou.
Bless this man. Uh, yeah, so Lou will once she gets the tea heated up, she'll bring him out a cup, and then she goes back and she starts making breakfast and like lets him know this is like her time and she will do this by herself.
He's very
Mom mode.
amenable. He protests a little, but you know, just a polite amount, not an annoying amount, as he goes. And you know, when you come downstairs, Tony, he'll offer to like deal you in too, like a little game if you want.
Oh yeah, she'll totally jump in.
Yeah, yeah. And eventually, Rook and Aoife, I think, will crash downstairs. You know, be up in your face, Lou, for coffee, tea, whatever.
It's all ready. She just like deals it out as they come down single file.
I think both Aoife and Rook look very similar in the way they just have this zombie draw towards like the kitchen island and just kind of dump themselves onto a seat at the bar.
Lou just like she is like good morning, and she sees Eva and she's like, "What? You're not shiny anymore."
Yeah, I think everyone's sort of the whoomp, like when Aoife comes in and they all recognize that. Rook's like, yeah, what's up?
And she wipes the sleep out of her eyes and she says, I don't really want to talk about it. It's quite painful. But, you know, I did say I'd work on it, and I did, and I received some help from Felix. And that's all that needs to be said on the matter.
Lou just takes out the honey pot and just puts a huge dollop of honey in Aoife's tea and pushes it towards her, and she's like, well, thanks for doing that, because it's going to make today a lot easier, but I hope that you can get back to being how you want to be as soon as we're done here. I know it makes you happy.
She just kind of wistfully looks up at Lou, just like not expecting that small gesture of, you know, of kindness and saying that. And she takes the spoon and she just like holds it onto her tongue and it's just, you can see the joy, a small little speck of joy creep back into her face as she tastes this, you know, the nice warm sugary glow of honey. She's like, we'll get through this.
We will.
Aoife and Lou, while you're sitting here at the counter, why don't you go ahead and make me an insight check? I think Tony and Ravane are probably too preoccupied.
Oh my god, hot garbage.
I got a 13.
9. Aoife got a 9.
Okay, so Aoife, you don't know that you're like, honey, oh my god, thank you, some kind of pleasure in living again, wow. So you don't notice this at all, but, you know, Lou, as Aoife, is like, oh yeah, well, you know, I kind of gave it up and whatever, and I'm fine now. Rook just, like, mid-bite, kind of just, like, set down, and the fiercest just scowl kind of comes over her face, and she just, like, shoves a cup aside and just bangs, like, upstairs, again, disappearing, clearly very upset by something that Eva has said.
Oof. Well, breakfast is ready, and she like will take out like a big stack of waffles with some orange mascarpone filling to put on top and a little thing of honey, and she takes like a big extra scoop of the mascarpone and puts it on top of Ravane's. And that's a mascarpone scoop of inspiration for him today.
Oh my god, he's like, this is phenomenal. I've never seen such fine food even in the palace kitchens. Thank you.
Be sure to pass that on. And she takes like a tray of waffles and she's gonna be like, I'm gonna go check on Rook.
Sure. Well, you absolutely have a standing order anytime you want to come and cook at North Point. I assure you, you have a position there. Though not many chefs, admittedly, are willing to travel to such a place.
I've got a pretty good set of wheels, so I'll consider it.
Yeah, I'll shovel, like, food in. Well, yeah. You can definitely, you heard Rook, the bang of, her bedroom door upstairs.
Yeah, so she'll go to Rook's door and knock softly on it.
You hear, what? The other side.
Hey, I brought breakfast. Can I come in?
Can you just leave it outside?
No, we don't do no contact delivery here.
There's like a petulant pause on the other end, and then like creeping steps, and the door opens like an inch.
Blue hip bumps it open and makes her beeline in.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen Rook's room before, so as the door kind of swings open, you see just a fucking disaster of a room waiting beyond. It's just filled with, like, stuff. Like, there's tables covered in, like, little bits of metal and, like, leather and stuff. Like, maybe somebody, like, would be making weapons or something. Like, there are weapons all over the place and, like, scattered pieces of armor. And clearly this is just, like, a front room area. You don't see anything like a bed or clothes or anything. Other than that, it's all very uncomfortable furniture, like, lots of hard angles, and just a goddamn disaster. And she'll frown at you and then kind of scoop a bunch of like shit, like a helmet, off of a chair at the table for you.
Lou sets down the tray and she like looks at her choices of furniture and she just decides to lean against the wall.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I just kind of noticed that you are having a hard time right now, and it kind of struck me that it's probably really fucking hard to have been through what you went through and be with somebody who gets to just decide what they are. So I don't really, at this moment in time, know how to help you with that, other than to let you know that you can talk to me about it. I might not understand, but I can imagine how it would feel. But I think that it's important for me to say we have a lot going on right now, and I know that you have, I'm sure, spent a lot of time looking into how you can change how your fate is right now, but I'm happy to help you in any way that I can on that journey.
And yeah, like a deep sigh, and she's up again and just sort of pacing back and forth. And like the one probably nice thing you do see in her room is like there is a very large kind of storm window over there that she just sort of like leans in front of and then just goes and stops, arms crossed, staring out. And you see from beyond, it's like this forest that stretches on and whatever seemingly brings her some kind of peace. So she's just like looking out here, kind of turns on a heel back towards you. It's just so fucking easy for her. I just don't. It just doesn't feel fair. None of it feels fair.
From an outsider's perspective, I have to say it doesn't look really fair either. And I don't understand why life is that way, but for every person trying to reach a goal, there seems to always be some person who makes it look easy. Yours just happens to be a very specific and a complex case. And it doesn't mean that it's impossible for you, but you're going to have to continue to keep trying really hard and not take no for an answer if somebody tells you there's no way.
I have spent so much time looking for, I don't know, a way out of this. It's like the whole the whole year, basically all this time before I met you all, finding a way, and there's nothing. There's nothing I can do, and all I fucking wish is that I never did this. Why the fuck would anybody want this?
I think that you might feel really differently if the person that you love had been here with you along the way holding your hand.
Yeah, well, she's fucking not.
I know she's not, and that's not fair either. But you have to remember the person who made this deal and all that hope that she had in her heart for a good future, that's still you. And even if it's not the future that you had in mind, you've met us, and we're like family now, for better or worse. And that's something to be happy about. And even if your future doesn't look the way that you thought, there are still good things that are going to happen to you and things that you should put your energy into, because those can become beautiful as well if you nurture them.
You know, I'll believe it when I see it.
I hope I'm there to see that thing happen for you. I do. I hope I can be a part of it. But letting go is borderline impossible, I know. But even if there's a part of you that always is going to remain with the bullshit, sometimes adversity makes for a better end product. Look at how fucking tenacious and strong you are, Rook. You are a goddamn force of nature. I've literally never met anybody like you. And maybe that's fueled by fuck everything, but you're incredible. You are. And people are going to see that. They're going to love you for it. And you're going to make new relationships and find new joy. And it might take a fucking long time, and every single moment that passes is too long, I know. But it is possible.
All right, well, clearly I'm just getting raging optimism from you. So I don't really have much to contribute here. I'll be ready to go soon. I just need a minute.
Oh. I will give you that, and if you need something else other than raging optimism, I'm happy to, after this, go kick your ass on the trading grounds in the coop. So
Yeah, like you could.
I'm happy to find out.
Thanks.
Anytime, literally. And she will reach out and squeeze Rook's shoulder. Just let me know.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you down there.
Yeah.
Eat your food. Big day, okay? And she'll kind of back up through the door.
Yeah. And you hear just like a slam that closes the door behind you, and you think probably someone threw a shoe or something just to close it.
Lou goes, she loves me. And walks down the stairs.
Yeah. And while, the rest of you are stuffing your face and having a great fucking time, Aoife's starting to feel a little bit more human, for lack of a better word.
Indeed. She's kind of slowly coming to and beginning to appreciate the little things of, like, feeling food fill your stomach.
Yeah.
And feeling the caffeination of tea begin to course through her. While everything feels a little bit dulled, I think the minuteness that she feels in every sensation is really apparent. Whereas before she, just took all these basic things kind of for granted.
Yeah. I think also, too, and it's maybe a subtle thing that it's not even conscious, but before there was definitely a growing feeling of otherness. that you were starting to experience. Especially, like, I think you became acutely aware of it when you were standing next to Bartleby and you suddenly didn't feel that difference. Like, you felt more similar to that creature than the people here. And now you're getting that feeling of comfort. It's small, but it's definitely there. A belonging that you think probably wouldn't have lasted if you had truly become something else.
Yeah, and I think that's she's just kind of rolling those thoughts around in her head while eating.
Yeah.
Kind of quiet.
And, you know, when you do get back downstairs, Lou, Ravane will, you know, put that down, like, knife and fork, pull it, like, push away the plate, you know, very satisfied, clearly, as he says, well, I'm clearly new to this operation and to how you all function. Like I said before, I'm here to help you in whatever capacity is most needed. You all are the authority on what we're walking into here, and if there is any kind of plan or procedures I should be aware of, please do let me know.
And go ahead.
Lou just kind of like squints and she's like looks at everyone. She's like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the Fae are all about passion and chaos. So plans don't really seem to really stick for long, I find, in most cases, which I hate. But I think that you kind of just have to roll with it and really appeal to that passion that they have for everything that they're going to talk about. Literally everything they're passionate about. So details count. But in the end, you just have to me, appeal to what they're feeling and their, what I think is intense humanity when they really care about something.
Sort of like romance, then, I suppose.
And we're walking into the Blossom Court, which is the realm of a flora, just to the extreme of flowers and grass and plants and you know, all these kind of creatures. And from what we've learned from a little bit of our studies and interacting, they are very big in protocol. And so you being a duke of a Eldrin Empire will appreciate how much pomp and circumstance go a long way with impressing the sovereign. And so I think that will be very key in being on her good side. And also, most importantly, your name is the most sacred thing. So you need a name that's not Ravane, that we can toss around, because if a Fae knows your name, they can have power over you.
All right.
So, in the Fae realm, I'm Saoirse, this is Marnie, and this is Franny, as she hitches thumbs at Lou and Tony.
Saoirse, Marnie, and Franny. And, Rook.
Rook's just Rook.
All right. Okay, well, a name for myself. Do you have any suggestions?
Looks at Tony.
I mean, when we were in camp, some of us, we all have the highest respect for you, of course, sir, but we did love to call you, I don't know if this will be a convincing name, but Captain Savage.
All right.
Lou has lost her mind and she just clears her throat and goes back. She's like, oh, I need another cup of tea.
I think Aoife does a spit take of tea into her mug.
How about we just go with Captain? Does that work for everyone?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I did like the other one better, but if that's what you're comfortable with.
It's shorter.
Sure, let's go with Captain. I just don't want to give anyone the wrong idea. Though I suppose I should be honored if soldiers think that is indeed my reputation.
It was purely just out of your, battle knowledge and ability to strategize on the field, and no disrespect at all.
It is
Tony's
a fine
very embarrassed
nickname.
that she shared that.
No, I will wear it proudly.
Incredible.
Well then, are we ready to go?
Lead the way, Captain Savage.
I will be following you on this one, very much taking cues from all of you. As I've said, I have never directly dealt with the Fae on mutual terms, so I am very much in your hands.
All right. Well, then we're putting Aoife in front.
Wonderful.
Boy.
And Rook also, comes downstairs.
We should
and
give-
goes around. Yeah.
We should give him the rose to give as a gift.
Oh,
big-
I have come prepared with some gifts of my own. Just seemed appropriate. So if you
What
all
are
want
they?
to reserve that, I've brought some fineries from the Empire. When it does come time, of course, to forge the alliance directly, speaking on the Tsarina's behalf.
Okay. Well, then it can be our gift then.
It's a good plan.
Nobility of any stripe, no matter what kind of creature, usually appreciates gifts.
I mean, I'm not nobility and I do, so why not?
And I suppose I should assume, of course, what I've heard, accept no gifts from the Fae folk. Do not make any promises, things of that nature. Is that all true?
It is true, and if you suspect that they are trying to get something out of you, if they're trying to surreptitiously form a deal with you, you can always ask them, are you trying to make a deal? And they are compelled to say the truth in that moment.
Oh. I wish everyone in the Empire knew that. I feel like that would solve quite a lot of issues.
Indeed. Where their trickiness comes in is how it often doesn't seem like it is a deal. So, whenever in doubt, always ask.
Excellent.
I would bear in mind, though, that giving that information away freely might not be looked kindly upon by them.
Yes. Yes, of course. I hope it can be assumed that nothing that transpires here will become something I simply speak of. It is clearly the mission we are on is direly important. Everything I have to report will go to the Tsarina and nowhere else.
And not a word from anyone about the fact that I do have an alternate form.
Of course.
I see. Understood. Well then. Alright, are you all ready to step out? Yee!
Yeah, I think I've done all my preparation.
Alright, yep, you feel Cooper, that like kind of roller coaster stop, right, where you hit that bar feeling, and the whoo, as, Cooper's legs fold underneath them and they sit down, and outside the windows you can see just the lush, multicolor, rainbow-hued rainforest that you've come to notice seems to be like the default state of kind of the wilds and in general. Ravain takes a deep, prepared breath. The only indication of whatever he is feeling at this moment.
All right. Well, how do we get to the actual court area? Like, do we see it in the distance or? Is it just
Uh,
too lush to see anything?
yeah,
Or
well,
like, yeah, any sort of path.
yeah, if you kind of step, or you're all stepping out.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you step out here, and you can see, as you're scanning around this jungle area, sort of like off to the side of the house, there is something that looks pretty remarkable in front of you. It's just basically there's all of a sudden, in the middle of the tree line, there is this huge, like, golden wrought gate. And this gate, I mean, it's like made for giants, basically. It's like, it must be at least 80 feet tall. Just beautiful curling, like, gold encrusted, like, that seems to stretch on in both directions forever and ever, this fencing line here. And these thick flowers, are entwined within them. Each of these blooms, like multicolored rainbow, gorgeous hued flowers, are like as big as your head easily as you're looking at this like overgrown kind of garden gate. And as you're all like, well, how do we, Rook is like, well, we told the house to take us here, so we're here.
Uh, Tony, maybe you can talk to the big old flowers and ask where the door to the gate is? Is it just like, is it all gate or is it
So
just
you can see there is, like, in front of you, there is this gate area, right, that is, like, segmenting the fencing on either side. The vines are
Okay.
absolutely entangled, overgrown, like, covering the gate. So it's not exactly an easy just swing this bitch open. So you think talking to some plants would probably be advantageous to being let inside, unless you want to climb an 80-foot tall wrought iron gate, which you probably could do, assuming, there's so many thick plants and vines, assuming, the plants are friendly.
Yeah, you haven't seen my athletic score lately, it seems, so I would love if you would talk to those plants.
That's not a problem. She's gonna like hold on to her little pendant from her mother and activate it and start trying to commune with the vines.
Sure. Is there, like, one flower in particular that you're kind of focusing your attentions on? They're also huge and gorgeous and of every variety and color. So does one kind of catch Tony's attention?
Yeah, I feel like the largest bit of growth near the gate as possible. Just gonna go walk up to there and give a greeting.
Yeah. So as you walk up, this tight, like, green bud kind of opens up, like, beautifully as you reach out, with that spell, and you see just this gorgeous, like, cerulean colored chrysanthemum and all of its, like, little, like, frill-like hairs opening up to you till this thing is probably about as big as your chest as it kind of, like, sways, almost like a sea anemone, right, as it's responding to you.
Ooh. A little hypnotized for a second.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're
And the
so
smell.
pretty.
The smell is fantastic. All of you, just all of these flowers. And as they kind of, the ones nearest to the chrysanthemum also, like, stand at attention, right? So you're getting these, like, blooms of different, roses and violets and orchids and things that would never grow together in the mortal realm are opening up. So just this, wave of floral scents come over you all. As you feel their curiosity as you're approaching. And you hear, the voice of the plants again as they're rustling, and you all are hearing, who don't have the spell on, like, it's almost like breaths just coming out, the sound of sighs, and rustling of leaves. You hear very clearly, in a voice that is the clearest and most human you have ever heard from a plant, "Oh, hello. What are you doing here?"
Hello, you are extraordinary.
Oh, you are extraordinary for noticing.
Yes, well, my friends and I here have some business beyond these gates, and I have no interest in causing any disturbance to you, any of you here. We don't want to cause any damage either to your beautiful petals, your foliage, or the environment around. So it would be just a really big help if you wouldn't mind asking the vines and your friends around the gate to distance themselves a little bit so we may pass through.
I see. You and all these mortals wish to enter the Blossom Realm. Is that right?
We do.
Oh, well, that is certainly brave of you all. I could be persuaded to open the gate. But what about your little friends that you have hiding all around? You see, mortals may be allowed inside, but we can smell those others you have brought. Are you trying to pull a fast one on me, little mortal?
I'm a little concerned. We haven't brought any other friends other than the ones you can see right here. Can you tell me what it is you're smelling?
Oh. Oh, dear. Then you might be in trouble, my dear. Look up.
Tony turns her head up to the sky.
And like, just as, this flower is kind of giving you this warning, you all see sort of Tony looking up. Tony, a dagger, like, lands in the ground right at your feet, like, maybe an inch away from your boot, as your, like, eyes trail up to the source, and, like, perched on one of the high, like, massive trunk rainforest trees, looming up above. Around, you see a figure completely dressed in, like, black, flexible clothing, wearing this, like, green mask that's kind of, like, up in almost styled like an owl's face, as this humanoid is here. And this figure calls out, "Not one step further until we have a little chat. We've heard a lot about you all and your intentions to deal with the Blossom Court. So tell us, mortals, what are you here to do? Make an alliance? Declare war? What exactly do you think you're going to get away with here? And I warn you, before you try any of your mortal tricks, I am certainly not the only one here."
Tony will quietly say, "Yes, there's definitely more of them, according to our flower friend here." Looking at Aoife. Thoughts?
Did we hear all that the owl guy said? I mean, there's a dagger.
Yeah.
Okay, so we heard that.
It does sort of sound like a feminine voice, but it's hard to tell. It's a complete mask that is absolutely masking their face, and with the clothing, it's sort of like a ninja-style outfit, if you would, so there's no, like, distinctive features other than a roughly humanoid-shaped form.
Can I roll something like, I don't know, history or investigation or something to see if I can tell, like, are these people, like, just from the owl mask, I immediately assume forest court, but, like, I don't actually know, so...
Yeah, go ahead and, roll maybe history, like, if you can recognize, like, because they are wearing, like, dark-colored armor and the masks, so if there is any, like, faction you might know of, go ahead and make me a roll.
Okay, cool. That's an 18 plus 2, so dirty 20.
There are no mortal factions that you can think of that would wear this kind of armor and garb. I mean, the mask is clearly distinctive, so, like, if there was any mortal thing that was going on, you feel like you would know it with that roll. Since you don't, it's safe to assume this is some kind of Fae faction, which might lead you to suspect whatever it is you want to suspect from there, but...
Gotcha.
I don't think you would know enough about the Forest Court, you as Lou, to put this together.
Okay.
Aoife pulling out the invitation from the Blossom Sovereign from her pack will say, "And who exactly would you be to stop us here from entering lawfully upon invitation of the Sovereign?"
We are not bound by whatever rules your little root-brained sovereign might have established. We are someone quite different, of quite different interests, and believe us, if we don't want you to enter and deal with this sovereign court, we will not let you. So I suggest you answer our questions first. What are your intentions towards the Blossom Court?
We come seeking an alliance.
An alliance. Oh. To destroy other mortals? To destroy other courts? Looking for power?
To destroy an existential threat that faces all of Fae-kind who stand opposed to it.
You think the Blossom Court speaks for all of Fae-kind, and you hear, like, laughter coming from several other trees in the area, and it's all weird sounding. It's low and guttural and almost something animal about the different tones you're hearing.
We would certainly not be so naive as to believe that, but we must start somewhere.
Huh.
And if we can mobilize the court who moves the slowest, other than the sleeping court, then that could persuade a great many others to join.
You seem convinced. You know a lot about us, little mortal. And you start to hear, like, scratching sounds, like, coming from up above. And, Tone, why don't you all give me a perception check?
14.
Aoife got a 15.
Okay.
23.
Ooh,
Okay.
Oh,
that
shit.
was a 1.
Fuck. All right. So Tony, I think Tony, you're probably the only one who sees this. But crawling out of like a tree very close by you, you see another humanoid figure. But this one isn't dressed in like full black. You can see that they have, you know, the arms and legs like a person, but their hands are clawed at the end, and like orange and black striped fur is like emerging as they are like crawling like a spider down this tree towards you. You see like weapons slung across their back, and this cat person, so like a humanoid tiger, imagine, lands about 30 feet away from you all, and like yellow eyes shining like in that dim gloom created by the canopy up above. And you hear more scattering like and sounds of claws coming from other trees.
I immediately nudge Lou so that Aoife's focus is still on the one that she's talking to, but I get Lou and Rook to pay attention to what's happening around.
Yeah, and Ravain also will, you know, kind of take your cue. You see his shield is already out. He's not drawing a weapon to be overtly threatening, but he's got yes, he is in a clear stance, ready to go. And Rook also is kind of fingering, you know, her bow, like at a moment ready to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And the figure again who's been talking to you with the owl mask. So, you think that you can speak to what threatens Fae-kind, and you feel entitled to operate on our behalf.
Not entitled, certainly not. But, as I say before, we have to begin somewhere. And this is our starting point. For this threat obviously threatens mortal kind too, and while we do not speak for all mortals, we do believe that this is a starting point for both of us, mortal and Fae kind, to be able to maybe come to a better, more amicable understanding. Because Hecate threatens us all.
Hecate. You
Just gonna
intend
drop
to
that.
take down Hecate. All right. Well, bold phrases, I think we can all agree. But before our journey begins, let's see if you're even worth the effort. Everybody roll some initiative.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! You feel the ground shake a little bit as a very large figure drops out of another tree from nearby, and you see like a brown furred individual stand up to about 7 feet tall. Another one thumps down as you see a big tusked faced figure come down. So you'll get surrounded. All right, let's talk initiative, kids. What did we get?
Blue got a 14, Rook got an 18.
Okay.
Tony got a 13.
18. Alright, 13 for Tony. What did Ravane get?
Ravane got a 24, and Aoife got a 21.
Okay, Ravane 24, Aoife 21. Nice. Alright. And then we have Katie will be running Rook for us this time. Thank you. I will be running Ravane, but I have got to roll some nonsense because... Oh boy. Alright, so there are 5 total of these figures that you see. 2 of them appear to be these, like, tiger-headed humanoids, is probably the best way to describe them. But you can also see, like, the parts of their skin that are exposed also appear to be, like, the humanoid version of, like, tiger claw, so this kind of anthropomorphic in-between form. While I'm rolling this, if anyone would like to make me a check to try and figure out what these things are, you are certainly welcome to try.
What check would it be?
You tell me. Probably, I would nature, arcane, like those kind of things probably all feel about right.
Aoife would definitely attempt a nature check.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it for me.
I'm
A
just gonna
measly 13.
Oh boy.
I'm not that good at either of those, so can I just do the help action so you get advantage?
Tell me how you're helping Aoife in this, like, split-second moment.
I think that she's just gonna, like, reach out and, like, kind of whisper, like, because she's learned, like, the vaguest things about each of the court. And so, like, to her suspicion before with the animal, she knows that, one thing about the forest court, she's like, I think that these might be from there. I don't, just kind of like trying to give input.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony also has no useful checks for this moment.
Sure.
It's all you, Aoife. Shine
you.
bright like a diamond.
Okay, so what is that with advantage? What was your new number?
With advantage, then, that brings us up to 23.
Okay, 23. All right, you have certainly heard of creatures like this before, and maybe it drives home when you see the last of these creatures, a wolf-faced individual that drops down, and you see kind of that hunched back and like that thing you've heard from stories and songs before, but maybe never actually encountered a werewolf. And as you're looking around here, you're seeing these others like a bear, a boar, and you know that there are creatures called lycanthropes. That are essentially cursed humanoids, like cursed to assume the forms of animals. That one of the hallmarks of them, they can assume kind of these hybrid forms, and they can also switch in between from humanoid to animal form to these hybrid shapes. So it's especially with that knowledge from the forest court that associated with animals, and that kind of primal aspect, almost in a direct opposition to the Blossom Court. Yeah, having werewolves around their ranks would make quite a lot of sense, based on everything you've heard.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. Okay, let me do some... My initiative count got all fudged up here. Let me fix this real quick.
And Aoife shouts out, some kind of lycanthropes, maybe?
Oh, wow. Tony is, like, thinking of all the tribal, like, bedtime scary stories she's heard about lycanthropes. And
shit,
it's like,
yeah.
fuck, like, I used to be so scared of them when I was a kid. They're real?
These motherfuckers are tough!
It wasn't a story?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We don't have
That's,
anything to fight lycanthropes.
Yeah, if that's
No, still big.
yeah. So Tony, with that in mind, I like that piece of backstory. I think you probably, if you were haunted by stories of kids, because I can absolutely see a nomadic tribe like having to deal lycanthropy would be a problem. Go ahead and make me a survival check or history, something that you would feel associated to see what you remember from these stories. I won't tell you which ones are true or not, but...
I got a 23.
Okay. A 23, that's pretty damn good. So some stuff you've heard from the legends. Who knows if it's true or not. If you are harmed by a lycanthrope, you can contract the curse. Any humanoid, any being who walks on two legs, potentially suffers a curse, like being transformed into whatever injured them. So, like, if you're bitten by a werewolf or you're attacked by a werewolf, you yourself could transform into one of these creatures. You have heard that it is a curse that is, like, divinely sent down to people who maybe, like, murdered too many of their own kind or murdered animals. Like this, it's a cautionary tale amongst your tribe people, right? To always treat nature with respect and to never transgress the bounds between humanity and nature. Or you might be hit with something unnatural here. You have heard that they are afraid of silver. Something about silver in its truest form harms these creatures in a spiritual way. You've also heard various things, like you can tell the presence of a lycanthrope, right? But based on how they react to silver, it's very much like the Fae, right? The way they react to iron is apparently that. You have also heard that lycanthropes can only be killed if they're forced back into their mortal form. Otherwise, they're essentially immortal, so you have to beat them back until they become mortal. Some of those things I just told you are true, some of them are not. But that is what you would have gotten just from the lore tales from your tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, in this instant, Tony probably thinks they're all true because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
right there in
Why
front of
wouldn't
her
you?
and she's
Yeah.
never thought they'd be real. She's going to say all of that back to them. Like, I got so many stories, guys. They're cursed. Like,
Holy
they keep your distance
evil
because
as
if they
shit.
touch you, they're evil. They're murderers. Yeah, they have no respect for nature. So also she tries to reconnect with that flower and be like, these guys aren't good news for you either. Please, if you have any way to help us, I think it would help you too if you helped us get rid of them or slow them down.
And she's like, well, we have to look out for ourselves, darling. Sorry. And you see sort of the vines are actually creeping up, moving towards the top of the gates, so they can't be basically like a plant running away from a dog. Oh no, a dog's in the house. I'm gonna move all my plants up onto the counter is basically the vibe. They're like, ew, raising it up above their eye
great.
level. If you are starting to see a little preview of the whole plant v animal divide that you probably will be experiencing quite a lot of. All right, so looking around the field now, you can see that there are 5 total enemies. It appears to be 1 tiger creature, so we've assessed their were creatures. So 1 were tiger, 1 were rat, and these 2 basically appear immediately next to where Ravane is and jump him, both of them at once. So it seems like there's going to be a scramble going on here. The were-tiger, to the surprise of literally no one, the most badass one, goes first and pounces on Ravane as just you hear the massive sound of this body taking over, and the were-rat sneaks up right away and is just tussling with them, and he'll shout out too. He's like, I'm fine, take care of the rest, as he's pulls this gleaming sword and goes at it, which means that there are 3 more of these were creatures that are kind of squaring off with all of you and Rook. So you have a were boar, so that is the giant, hulking, kind of tusked figure that you saw before. You have a werewolf that has now, like, creeped down, was the last to kind of join the field, right, with their, like, tawny, you know, muzzle, like, scarred muzzle. You can see, like, the silver flecks near. This is a wolf who has lived a long time and fought a lot of shit, you can just see, just from the look of him. And then that thundering as the ground had kind of shaken, and you see the hulking bear that had dropped out, and now this grisly bear person standing about 7 feet tall, just massive, must weigh at least 600 pounds figure. These three are staring you down. So boar, wolf, and bear. All right. So for initiative, obviously the tiger and Ravane and the were-rat are all kind of dealing with each other. So I will say the were-tiger is absolutely the hardest enemy and has gone for the scariest looking target. So those two and his little rat buddy are going to be mostly fighting Ravane. So for your own sanity and the sake of staying alive, because I will say we're using Tales of the Valiant stat blocks, focus your fire on the other three in front of you. It's just my casual DM recommendation to you all, which is going to bring us, with that set, engaged Aoife. You actually have the first move here with that 21.
Excellent. So looking at the boar, where the boar, the wolf, and the bear that are coming up on us.
All impressive and scary in different ways.
Even. So could I catch the three of them in a 20-foot cube?
Nope, because they're all ringed around you. So basically, these five kind of drop down from the trees around you, and you will note that figure who's wearing the owl mask, who was talking to you, is still up in that tree. They did not join the fray, so clearly these warriors were staged around you in a sweet, sweet, circular ambush pattern.
Alright, so I think Aoife is going to clock the bear as the second most formidable next to a tiger. And she is going to cast for the very first time. I'm so excited since I got this spell. She is going to cast Recast Form.
Oh, cool.
And so she immediately turns to this hulking bear form as it drops onto the ground and just shakes the earth beneath its, just wide feet. And she locks eyes with this creature in this equally predatory stare, and she lashes her fingers out towards it as these tendrils of magic sort of stretch out and begin to weave around it. And I'm going to need a charisma saving throw.
All right.
So, as the spell says, you forcibly revert the form of one creature you can see within range. Charisma save. On a failed save, my DC is 15. A shapeshifter creature under the effect returns back to its original form, and they take damage. Extra damage if they're a shapeshifter.
All right, and then is that like a permanent thing? What's the or is it just like they're forced and they have to burn the action to transform again?
Lasts for concentration up to a minute.
Ooh, nice. Okay, all right. So I rolled a 14. So hit me with that. Hit me with that. Love when that niche spell comes in. Fuck yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Fucking beautiful. 5d10. Fucking beautiful. Holy shit.
5d10 psychic damage.
Yikes! Alright. Let's do it. Gonna tell you though, none of these guys are chumps when it comes to hit points. So, welcome to Tales of the Valiant. We don't fuck around at Kobold Press with monsters.
So that werebear is going to take 25 psychic damage and is reverted back to their original form.
Okay. All right. What does this spell look like? Like what is the effect we see?
So yeah, as the magic takes hold and she finds that weakness in where she finds this mortal chink in the chain, and she just unravels the fur from this creature and just like spins it up into a little ball of yarn as the magic kind of pulls back to her, and we just see this mortal left there.
Mm-hmm. slight adjustment. Something you did not expect with this spell happened. So you see, indeed, like this form, shrinks and swirls, and like this, weird amalgamation of flesh and fur comes like back together in and out of itself. But where you would expect to see a mortal person, based on everything you understand about how lycanthropy works, that is not what the true form of this individual is. As you see a huge fucking brown grizzly bear left there. A true animal that somehow you know it to be true. Your spell knows it to be true. This defies everything, though, you've ever understood about lycanthropy. The true form of this creature is a bear. And it is here, and it is angry as it is staring you down. So that already, Tony, one, absolutely breaks some of the assumptions you might have had about how this works.
Oh, man.
Oh,
yeah, Aoife is shocked.
Yeah, that's... You're looking at it, and the bear's looking at you also, I think, a little shocked as this happens, and then it lets out one of those, like, roars, spittle flying from its yellowed fangs, as you're like, all right, well, shit. So it is going to be forced to stay in bear form until your concentration breaks or a minute passes, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
And then as her bonus action, she is going to give a bardic inspiration to Lou here.
All right. Very cool. All right, well then, Rook. We are at Rook's turn.
Okay, so
we already know some fuckery is about. These are not standard lycanthropes.
I think that, since we're in the wilds and we don't want to, like, outright kill these people, because that's not really our goal here, she's not going to go for that one. She's going to go for the boar.
Okay.
Because she doesn't want to kill anyone here. And then I'm going to use Favored Foe on that boar.
All right.
And then is a bonus action, because that's just free, it looks like. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to do the Slayer's Prey. As well. I'm like, do all these little things.
That's how the rage for the Monster Slayer. You pile it all on, and then you shoot, and that's what you do. So you're doing it right.
All right. And then I'm going to do the heavy crossbow attack at this guy.
Okay. Come at me.
Oh, I will. That's a 27.
Oh, God. Yeah, that'll hit. You hear the pig squeal come from this thing as it, like, reels back its oversized head, right?
Yes, we're having pork for dinner tonight, baby. That's going to be 11 plus 4, 15 points of piercing damage.
All right. Tell me, is Rook's crossbow magical?
From the character sheet? No.
All right, then that is going to deal... Oh, yes, because it is cold iron, but that does fucking bullshit for this. So, yep, so that's going to be halved. So what is that half damage?
Well, okay, I said 14, so 7.
Okay, all right.
And
so with that, we have learned any bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks is they resist it unless you have a silver weapon.
Okay, and then she's gonna go ahead and do a second attack.
All right.
That's a dirty 20.
Fierce.
And fierce. That's gonna be just 8 points of piercing damage, half to 4.
Okay. Owie wowie. Rook curses a lot. She's like, I thought these fucking things were fake. They appear not to be fake. As this is happening. All right. So that is Rook. Anything else?
I think she's just gonna back up and try to keep her distance.
Okay. Yeah, so she's gonna try and back up. Well, she can't back up too far because basically, so the boar is gonna be pretty much opposite of where the wolf is. So I would say she could do maybe 15 feet, without getting, like, directly in range of, the other one.
Okay. She'll take it.
All right. But now it's the boar's turn, and he's gonna be looking for some... You know what? Nope, because they are smart cookies here. The wolf will bark out, basically, go for the caster. The caster. She's holding a spell. And then the boar will nod. And then, like, you see him, he, like, shakes his head back and forth, and, like, red, just color, like, gets, like, into him as he's, like, kind of pushing himself almost into this, like, frenzied state, and you see his eyes grow very, very small as he, like, puts his head down, tusks out, and charges with this, like, ferocious speed directly at Aoife. So, I'm gonna move at least 15 feet straight towards you, and then I'm gonna try and hit you. Yes, yes. And, oh, yeah, that's a lot of attacks. Alright, cool. Cool.
Are you within 5 feet of me, Aoife?
Yes, I would say so. Because you're all clustered in the center of this.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a 23 to hit with my slam attack. So, what are you doing, Tony? Because we haven't had a turn yet, so you haven't had a bonus action to assume your stance. But you do have Sentinel, right?
Yeah, this is the reaction I get for someone else getting attacked.
Okay.
I get to react with a melee attack.
Alright, so go ahead and make your melee attack right now, and then I'll roll my damage, because slam has certainly hit your friend Aoife.
That is 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Beautiful. And this is one-handed because I do have my shield in the other. Where's my D8?
I'm also going to ask, because we have brought up maybe not wanting to kill them, would you like to make a non-lethal attack with your weapon? So this is like, yeah, so whenever you make an attack with a melee weapon, you can't do it with a ranged weapon, and you can't do it with a spell, but you can with a melee weapon, which is essentially what you're doing instead of, like, going for a killing blow. You're dealing the damage, but it's like, if you make a non-lethal attack to bring someone down, it's more like smacking them with the flat of your blade, or like a blunt thing, so you're more looking to make them unconscious rather than actually kill them.
Did we say that we didn't want to kill them? Or is just
Lou
because we
said
think that
something.
they might not be able to?
Lou said something to that effect, but it's up to all of you. You can discuss as players right now if you would like what you want to do here, what you think is the right course of action.
I think if we're trying to eventually get more courts on our side, it wouldn't be good to kill them. It seems like from what the guy said, or person said, that they just want to test us.
I guess you're right. But I also
hate it. Same.
I also hate it.
Hard same.
All right, fine. I'll take a non-lethal blow.
Okay. It still all works the same. You still deal the damage, but essentially if you reduce them to 0 with a non-lethal hit, they don't die. They just fall completely, like, unconscious.
That's going to be 9 damage.
Okay. And your sword is now magical, yes?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Yep, that does that damage. How are you, like, what does the blow look like? Because, like, you are not stopping the momentum of this creature. It is continuing. So, like, what is the blow you're getting in here as it's, like, tackling your friend?
And it's a boar, too.
Mm-hmm. A man-shaped boar. Yeah.
I think to, like, preserve the integrity of my sword and not try my best to not cause lethal damage to it, I do some maneuver where, like, I slide the blade into, like, the handle of my shield to protect it, but then, like, it reinforces the hit when I, like, just slam it down into the boar as it passes by me towards Aoife.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just-
so you get one of those nasty, like, grinding blows kind of with the hilt, like, there. So, but this thing doesn't even stop. Yeah, it's, like, clearly what momentum is happening, but you see a spray of blood, like, come off of it here. So yes, you are being slammed, Aoife. So a 23 to hit. Any clever things you're doing before I roll this damage?
No,
Okay.
we'll soak this one.
All right. Wonderful. So here we go. Here's the base damage, and then because it used charge, it gets to do a bunch of extra damage. All right. So off the bat, that is going to be 11 bludgeoning damage. And then from the charge, that's an extra 7 bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make me a Constitution save as you are being gored by a were creature.
Oh, fun.
Like that.
Oh, I'm like actually sweating. Why is this so stressful?
For all you
Because
listening
you
at home, if you could see these Celeste crazy eyes. Terrifying.
Okay, yeah, so Aoife gets absolutely just charged, and I think she reels back a little bit,
Oh,
even
I'm sorry,
though
you're
Tony...
also knocked prone. Whoops, forgot to mention that.
So even though Tony steps in to kind of take the brunt of this blow, Aoife being just now in her smaller mortal self, which is not bulletproof.
Yeah, your reaction time, you're like, I'll be fine. Oh no, I move like a mortal. Oh, shit.
So her con save for that is a 13.
Okay. Ooh,
And
just barely
then-
scraping by there, aren't you?
And then her concentration check to make sure she holds onto her
Oh,
spell
right.
is going to be just a 10.
Oh, that
And-
is not.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
Her DC is just 10,
Yes,
but
yes.
she rolls a 14 on that, so she maintains concentration.
All right. So you just have a grizzly bear instead of a man grizzly bear. Good job. So- This is fun for me. Okay. Yep. So you on the ground, you there, but cool. Oh, sorry. Multi-attack. Yeah, I can make maul attacks now that you're down here. Sick.
Don't like that.
Sick. So you're on the ground, so I have advantage.
Do I get to keep reacting when they get extra attacks?
No, you only have one
No.
reaction per turn.
Okay.
Per round, sorry.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Bonk, 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 bonk. All right, so
Would be nice.
mauling!
It
Doing
would
some
be so
mauling.
nice.
17. Aoife.
We're going to go ahead and throw a silvery barbs on that.
All right. Okay, I did
And then
roll
we'll give-
lower, so that'll make it a
Nice.
13.
Yes, it misses. Thank God it. And we'll give that advantage to Tony.
Okay, how does your little threads just, do they like slap the tusks away?
Yeah, so she just balls up into this little hedgehog ball on the ground, and this magic that just kind of licks off of her just flashes out against this creature.
Yeah, you're like, no, and so just like deters the husk, like the horns before they get like right into your stomach. But let's see if the second one is gonna swing. Oh, and who got advantage one more time?
Tony.
Tony. Okay. All right. Let's see if that second maul hits. Oh, a natural 20. Wow, wow, wow. Ooh, fuck. All right. Yeah.
I might die.
9, 12, 16, 19 bludgeoning damage.
All right.
But the good news is you don't have to make the con save for the maul attacks. So,
But thank God we got a natural 20 on our concentration check, so despite
Jesus.
despite these tusks
one-
ripping into her flesh, she is holding on to this magic.
Oh, it's a Hodor all over again. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. So
Oh
that's
my god.
Oh, fuck. And now it's the wolf's turn. Hell yeah. All right. So, the only other person who has acted this turn is I feel like the werewolf who commanded, like, bore Werewolf seems to be a little bit in charge here, because they said, boar, no, don't go for that. Werewolf is going to go for the other person who has actually done business, and attack Rook here. So, oh, of course they have pack tactics. So they're gonna, like, dance over, you know, on their little, like, wolf feet, just impossibly fast, as they go over and kind of flank with the boar right at this point, who's, like, just mauling Aoife on the ground. So they're gonna have advantage on all their attacks. And they, at this point, you do see that they have a spear slung across their back, but they don't even bother to take it out, as they just go ahead and lunge directly for Rook with their claws, that you hear that sound of the right as they all come out at the same time. And here we go. All right.
Oh my god, her armor class is garbage.
Yeah, welcome to being a ranged character. Okay, that's not great though. 13.
Miss.
All right. Okay, 18.
That hits for sure.
All right, let's just see how the other one goes too. Oh, and a 23. So I think both of those are going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Let me make sure. Yep, just advantage. Yeah, any other? Cool. All right. Go ahead and make me roll 2 con saves for me while I'm rolling all this damage.
First one is an 18, and the second one is an 8.
The 8 fails. Okay, so that'll be 24 piercing damage total for those 2. Right. Does somebody want to describe what this really awful second hit looks like for Rook when she gets very bloody from a werewolf attack?
I think that as the claws go through, she it just rips through the padding in her armor, and you just start to see all that padding just like pop up, and it's almost weird seeing a fluffy red gush as it all clears away, and there's just a horrible gash in her arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you, she, like, kind of staggers backward, not just from the blow, but there's something like, as she gasps and her face turns, like, really, really pale, so you see her brown skin just goes like this very odd shade of beige as she sort of stumbles, almost like dizzy from something. Something passes over her, and she kind of swings her, crossbow around, trying to, like, block whatever is happening. All right. That brings us now to Lou.
Yeah, I think Lou is going to jump over to the back of this boar that's just destroying
Aoife. Yeah.
And she's just gonna yell to all of them, like, we don't want to fight you. We don't have to do this. And she's going to try to make non-lethal attacks on this boar to just get this thing off of her friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is an 11 plus 8, so 19.
Okay, yep, that'll hit. So these things, I mean, as, like, vicious as they are when they get to their turns, like, they're not, none of them are wearing, like huge amounts of armor or anything, and mostly they're relying on that kind of raw strength, so their ACs are all pretty low. 1 bit of good news. Also, Tony, you're on deck, just so you know.
That's gonna be 23 points of magical piercing.
Ooh, that is a huge blow. Where are you hitting it?
I think since she's basically using the butt of her knife to do it, she's just trying to, like, hit him right in the back of his neck, like, just trying to make him pass the fuck out.
Yeah, and you see it, like, the ugly bruise, like, purple that comes up as you clearly, you're bruising, like, blood rupturing below the skin, like, this thing, and, it's waving its head around already goring, but, like, you can tell it gets, like, really frantic and kind of dizzy as you, like, deal a significant blow to the spine. That's a lot of damage. So Boar is not looking cute after after all of this. Anything else?
Neither does Aoife. Yeah, I'm gonna do an offhand attack.
Oh yeah, Aoife's just a mass of blood though, so, you know.
I wish I was Farah right now.
I will say, I mean, maybe, Tony, why don't you go ahead and make me, what do you think, like, a soldier analyzing fighter check would be? Sort of like either a medicine or a survival,
I could do, yeah, I mean, I could see it being, survival.
Yeah, go ahead and why don't you make me one of those too, as you're, like, watching this happen, you know, waiting for your...
17.
Okay. While the boar is clearly fucking up Aoife, and she is bleeding and whatever, it's not going for vital organs. Right? It hasn't punctured her heart. It hasn't moved above the rib cage. It's fucking around in her guts and, like, limbs, but that's the kind of shit that's not going to kill you right away. That's the kind of stuff that'll kill you in a matter of hours and potentially be healed via magic. Yeah, chat, fucking around in her guts. Sorry, that's what it is. Thanks, Katie, but that's what it is. So these are gut wounds, which, you know, are incredibly painful, but take a really long time to kill someone. So these things are clearly holding back, in the primal animal kingdom restraint.
It's like a dick swinging contest right now of, like, we're both trying to send a message, but we have to send the stronger one.
And this affirms that, as you're noticing, like, hey, that thing could have, like, pierced her heart with a tusk. And that's what animals do. These things aren't acting like pure animals. But anyway, Lou.
I got a hit, and then I got a 3, which is just going to be 1 because it's going to be halved because my offhand dagger is not magical.
Yeah. You get a little, like, a little dink in there, like, yeah, suck it. It shocks you how thick the skin of this individual is, right? You'll go for one of the more humanoid parts, but, like, pig skin is tough. And clearly, what this humanoid skin is, it's so leathery, it basically, like, repels your blade. You're like, this is why they need butcher's knives. All right.
I have that. But I can't use it.
Right. Okay. And then, Tony, we move to you.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
If I wanted to cast Animal Friendship on the bear, is that possible while it's in its bear form?
So I will say, because you realize, like, the magical nature of these creatures, they're probably not quite beasts. Whatever they are, their curse has made them something more, which means they're probably not going to be, like, regarded as pure animals for a spell. So that's my GM nod to you. That'll be a waste of a spell. It will not affect them.
Okay. Then I think we'll hold off on spell casting this round and just try and, get that boar the fuck away from Aoife.
Yeah.
And go for a melee attack with the sword.
Okay. Lethal or non-lethal?
Non-lethal. We're gonna go for its legs, its thighs, its limbs.
And with advantage.
Yep.
And with advantage. Hell
So your silvery barbs on that first one, at least.
That's can I say the total? I never remember how things work. Can I say the total I rolled before deciding whether or not I want to use my advantage? Because I don't know if it's gonna hit.
No, it'll automatically trigger off of the next attack you do, so you get your 2d20s regardless.
Oh,
Yes.
right, okay.
So it has to be with advantage for this roll.
Well,
But
this
for,
is
like, Bardic Inspiration, technically you have to use it with, but I am one of those GMs who I'm like, that's not fucking fair. I never remember it, so you can always decide later with me. You're in a safe
love
space
that.
to do that.
I love that about you.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. Let me just gore you some more. A little, it's a trade-off.
Well, it was working well for me this time because I got a 24 to hit.
Holy shit! Let's do it!
Let's.
Boop. And that's going to be 6 slashing damage.
Alright. Are
Magical
you adding
slashing.
the +1 now from your magic sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's for attack, though. That's not for
Attack
the
and damage.
And
Attack
damage.
And damage.
Oh, then I think that's already on the damage because it's 4 and not 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my extra attack.
Hell yeah!
And ooh, that one's not so hot. That's 19. That's probably gonna hit.
I'm sorry to hit. You said not so hot.
I rolled a 12. I rolled a 12, and I forgot I had 17. I had 7.
Yeah, 19 is ridiculous. A 12 would have hit.
Get it,
Let me just
girl.
tell you. But yeah.
Then that's gonna be 9 more damage.
All right.
And why not? Let's just action.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Yes!
it's not looking good. I'm gonna bring that home.
The queen has
it home.
arrived.
Hello,
16?
it's me.
16.
Yeah, boy, let's do it.
Oh, ooh, and that's 12 damage.
Oh God, yeah. You get your extra attack.
I did that already. Oh,
You do it
action
again.
surge. I get another one.
Hell yeah, because it's part of the
Another
same
one.
action.
Oh no.
Who's the
The
beast
thing is,
now?
when you take the attack action, you get to swing twice. So when you extra surge, action surge, you get another action. So it's the attack action, which always has the multi-attack.
And then that's going to be, I think, 21.
Yeah.
14 plus 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is 8 more damage.
Oh God. It's not quite there, but yeah.
Okay.
Just give me like a general overview, because all 4 of these hits landed. So what is the general look of this as you're battering this thing pretty much within an inch of its
It's
life?
like limb for limb. I get one strong,
Ooh, yeah.
massive whack on each. Like I'm knocking a lead
Yeah.
pipe on your kneecaps.
Right, or at those points for each thing, where your shoulder
Yeah.
connects to your
We're
little
going
power
down to
points
this
there.
one, and then we're going to the hind leg, and then we're
Yeah.
flipping around and doing the next
You're
hind
hearing
leg,
the
and then the last front leg.
squeals. Yeah, the squeals coming out of this thing are ungodly as this is happening. So it is almost there, but we're not done yet because we have a bear. A literal bear! Now that is... Grizzly, here we come. So, let's see. So, Rook has a werewolf on her. Clearly the boar is getting bodied. I think Tony is probably the biggest threat based on all of that. So, bear instincts. Bear gonna bear. You have a 500-pound grizzly bear coming for your nuts, Tony. So let's do that. Let's see. So in my animal form, I can only do a couple things. Alright, so my multi-attack is limited. So good job, Sage, because they're way scarier in hybrid form. For sure. Alright, but I can still make 3 claw attacks. I can replace one with a bite attack if I'm in my animal form. Cool. Cool. It's tight. It's gonna try and bite you. It's gonna bite you real good. Let's see. Oh, real good. Plus 8 to hit. It's the strongest of them all. 26.
Damn, yeah, it will.
Yeah. They're all varying CRs. Spoiler alert, the giant fucking bear is the biggest one. Okay. Yeah, so that'll be 15 piercing damage, and I need you to succeed on a constitution save for me, or be cursed with lycanthropy. You know.
Fuck! Oh, that was a natural 20.
Oh, okay, no werebearism for you, sir. But don't worry, we've got some claws. It's okay, you don't have to save for the claws, though, but I'm just gonna, tear you to ribbons. Just standard. As the bear, like that, movie bear roar is just like thundering in your ears. And it's so much louder than you thought it would be when you hear it in real life. 18.
Oh, it won't hit because I have my shield out, so my AC is right now
you're-
19.
So you, reflect this hulking bear claw, and I cannot stress enough how incredibly powerful a bear that weighs like 600 pounds is, but you like body it on your shield. Your whole arm shakes, right, with the effort of the weight this thing is throwing at you as it comes in again, and it's at full standing height. So, you know, if it was like 7 feet tall in humanoid form, it's probably 8, 9 feet tall, full-grown male grizzly in your face. Oh, shit, you threw it off its game, because that's only a 14. So you're like, bam, bam, as this thing Wonder Woman the shit out of, like, not getting this bear to murder your face. She's incredible, because you would have taken a minimum of 24 damage if it hit you.
Ooh.
Minimum per hit.
She is fully roaring with all her might back. It's
Holy
you know how
shit.
tennis players have to scream to
Yeah.
like do better?
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
You're doing, like, karate, just, like, scary sounds. Yeah, Tony is fighting with a bear. Round 2 begins. Alright. So, you hear just, like, a scream, also a warrior cry, coming from Ravane over there as you see him duking it out with a tiger and the were-rat. You hear a, like, of metal and just a spray of, like, blood goes across as, like, the were-rat falls, and is, like, kind of flung across the ground here. But then he goes down, like, under the great shield, right, as the tiger pounces and springs on top of him, and there's, like, the sound you never want to hear, like a mauling animal sound. But the scream continues, so he's still up. It's a thing, but it's happening. And then Aoife, we come back to you underneath that wereboar, prone as hell.
We don't like it.
No.
So Aoife, as she is like just scrambling, trying to get out from underneath this thing with these just raging tusks that are flinging at her, and she's looking around desperately for something to help her defend off this boar. And in the distance, you know, just a bit away, she catches sight of like one of those like Shinto shrine looking spirit houses that you would see out in the
Yeah,
forest.
those nice big stone, ones. Yeah, stacked
with the
up.
like the
A
pointed
little
roofs
hat
and
on
everything.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as she reaches out with her magic and she reaches deep into the stone of the spirit house, and it begins to awaken with arcane energy, and it begins to stomp towards this
Hell yeah.
boar.
Hell yeah. There's definitely a moment where the boar, like, takes the tusks, like, out of your flesh and is like, "Eh," as it looks over, right, and you see the glowing, like, purple kind of spiritual eye of this thing as it's, like, shifting its giant weight over and across, and you hear the snapping of vines. And Tony, somewhere in your mind, you're like, oh no, you hear, right? As that's happening, it comes up to tower over this thing.
And then as she is going to give Tony a bardic inspiration, the animated shrine house gets to make an attack against the boar.
Sure does.
And alright, so it is going to, like it has a little fence around it, and the fence unravels and then just like kind of cracks it like a whip.
Yeah. Lethal, non-lethal? It probably
it
matters
is-
a lot on this.
It is force damage, so what would you permit that?
I would permit it to be non-lethal. I think in this case it makes sense, because you're controlling it, right? So if you tell it non-lethal, I think that works fine.
Nice. Alright, so that is, so we'll definitely catching the drift that Tony and Lou are not looking at, like, because she's seen Tony go after something with the full force of her attacks.
Tony is
so seeing that
clearly, and hitting it with the butt and, like, the flat of her blade over and over again. It's, pretty clear to you.
seeing her polar punches, she's going to go for non-lethal, and that is a 23 to hit with...
Whoa, yeah.
Ooh, shit. That is 15 force damage.
Oh, good.
Sorry, 13.
Okay. 13. That is still a disgusting amount of damage, but it is still up. You see this, like, the swirling, in this anime eyes, but the boar is a tough-ass creature, y'all, so it is not quite it has an ability, my friends, called Relentless. I just want to... If the werebore takes 14 damage or less, hello 13, that would reduce it to 0. It is instead reduced to 1 HP. As it's like, ugh, you see it like almost like knocked out, and then like the rage, the complete like red fills its eyes, and like if I don't think any of us have ever been stared down by a wild fucking pig before, but like that is the look that Aoife is now getting. Pure primal fear.
And with this Shrinto Shrine now behind her, kind of imposing in, she uses like her hand and some leverage from it to pull her up, so she is no longer prone on the ground, spending half her movement to get up.
Yep.
And that is her turn.
Holy shit! All right, Rook. So Lou, Rook has a werewolf in her face, so any ranged attacks or nothing are going to be made at disadvantage at this point.
Okay. Since this guy is right next to the werebore, she should be able to shuffle around it.
Yep.
If she wants to. Oh, God, okay. I'm going to have her go around it, and you said everything under 14 hit points won't knock it out?
That was one ability it just used to stay alive, so...
Oh, okay.
It probably can't do it again. Let's just...
Right.
GM nod to you. That was it can do that once per short or long rest.
Awesome. So, with that information, she's going to take her scimitar out so it can be not ranged and not lethal. And she is going to attack the boar.
All right.
That is going to be a 15 to hit.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. And that will do... What the fuck is a scimitar? D6.
You said non-lethal?
Non-lethal. 9... 13 points of damage.
Hell yeah. So even halved, she slices that down along, like, a gut wound, right? So you see that spray of scarlet as this thing finally, its eyes roll back in its head. And you see it kind of shrink downwards. Not as much as you would expect, as it becomes this very heavy front, like, jawed human, like, that's also, like, bald and kind of has some, like, sprawling hairs on its head. A very piggish man, that kind of falls down before you on the ground. Interestingly enough, this one probably was a human, in its true form. But whatever this group is seems to be playing hell with where they're coming from.
Nothing makes sense here.
But unconscious, now bleeding on the ground, so no immediate danger of, like, actually dying in the next minute or so, right? Probably going to take a couple hours from that blow. Anything else for Rook?
Yeah, she'll go for the wolf guy now that's in front of her.
I think maybe Aoife, like, over you, right? Because you're standing up, and Rook will give you a sort of a dead-eyed nod. Like, something about it. Give me an insight, actually.
Yeah. Sage has a feeling, but let's see if Aoife does.
Yeah.
Oh. Aoife and Rook are not connecting today because that is the second time she's rolled a 2 on her insight for a total of 9.
Yeah, so you look at Rook and you swear that this look Rook gives you is like almost like a "you're next" kind of look. Like you read that as like a very hostile look she gives you. And it strikes you like as something scary and strange. I think with an insight of 2, that's the surface you take away from that. As she turns her attention away towards this werewolf.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, you. I think an insight too. You know, sometimes it's not that you just miss it. Sometimes you misread it.
Yeah.
Well, she will go ahead and use I'm gonna use our bonus action to move the Slayer's Prey over to this guy.
All right.
And then I will attack, which was a 15 plus 7 is 22.
Yeah.
And that will be and move her since she hit, she'll do the favored foe on that too.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's not great. That's 5 plus 4, 9 points halved to 4.
I mean, you know, still a hit. The
Chipping
first time
away.
The werewolf has taken any damage at all. And also, as you swing around and, you know, the werewolf was more in the fight, you actually realize it's a very feminine form. So it seems like the werewolf and the werebear were two big old dudes, but this, like, very agile woman in front of you, you know, as you're cutting away. So she seems much more agile, dexterous, and lithe than the other two. But yeah, there you go. Dancing in and out of this fight here. And so it comes to the boar, who is down, KO'd. But the wolf is going to get her revenge. So here we go. All right. Yeah, multi-attacks. Boop, 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 boo. Yeah, I think... Ooh, the spear does more damage. Okay, so she's going to do 2 claws, and then you see her at the last moment unsling her spear to try and drive through Rook. Here... she's still getting pack tactics because now the bear is, like, up in the biz. Only a 14, though, on that first claw.
That still hits.
Ooh, Rook. Nasty. Okay, and then a 23 on that second claw.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Okay, and then that spear. Oh, God, a 23. I think Rook's probably toast. Alright. Here we go. Okay, that's gonna be 6 piercing on that first hit. Only 8 on that second one, and then the spear itself is 7. The good news is the werewolf is actually the weakest of the 3. So there you go. Alright, so yeah, Rook is clearly getting fucked up here, but somehow handling it. Okay.
That a girl.
Ooh, girl, she too piss and vinegar to die. Lou, it comes to you.
Yeah, I think she's gonna just go for the next friend that's getting their ass beat.
Yep.
And just go for that werewolf.
Yeah, because it seems like, quite honestly, the grizzly still has a lot of fucking fight left in them.
Just gonna take
Tony,
him out systematically.
Tony is handling a bear. Like, let us not, you know, disregard Tony's efforts, but Jesus Christ, it's gonna take a lot to kill a bear. When I say the highest CR, let's just be real. That is the one. That is the problem here. Boar was middle.
So that's gonna be a 22 to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, boy.
10.
We'll say Wolf Trade-Off has the highest AC, but clearly a 22 is, yeah, godly. So.
19 plus 5, 24 points of magical piercing damage.
Hachi mate. Alright.
And I'm just, everything's non-lethal. I will go in for my offhand attack.
Alright.
Oh my god. 19 plus 8, so yes.
Stupid amount. It's what that is. With 2 O's.
And that's just gonna be 4 divided by 2, so 2 points of piercing.
Cool. Wolf is not looking good. Wolf not gonna hang in there for much longer. But Tony, we come to you, and you know the bear is on deck.
All right, what's up is I'm just gonna keep wailing on this fucking bear, trying to get it to back the fuck up.
You can try.
And I certainly will.
Good.
I'm gonna, melee attack non-lethally.
All right.
The bear.
Da bear? Da bear. Going after Yogi, I see.
19.
All right, both
19
of
to
you.
hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay.
Not that I give a fuck. No, I do.
Oh my god.
I do. 19 is really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, 4. Excuse me, not 4. 9.
Damage. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
So you hit into it, and you feel, I guess, kind of like you might with, a little piñata stick against, like, an ice sculpture is probably the best.
Yeah. I'm picturing us, like, he's still, like, leaning against my shield, and I'm still carrying the weight of the thing. So I'm trying to use that as, like, by thrusting the shield up into its, like,
and you're
neck and
trying,
its
but you're like, wow, the head is just as heavy as the rest of this fucking meat sack. So you're, like, swinging right around, and, like, you just feel like you're doing nothing against the layers of fat on this creature.
Sure feels like it.
Sure feels
But
like
we're gonna do that again with our extra attack.
Hell yeah.
And that's a 22 to hit.
That's good. Anything above 20, you're golden for any of these creatures.
Beautiful.
I assure you.
Wow, and 5s love me tonight, so that's a 9 more damage.
All right. Yeah, I mean, so in game terms, you are absolutely doing damage, but this creature is going to be good to go for a number of rounds.
He's thick.
And I think, some of the fear of those stories, of those legends, come back into your mind, because talk about the creatures on a plane, right? That would be were creatures. You don't have a huge amount of animal. All the ones that aren't like little tiny things, right? Like lizards and like jackrabbits and stuff. You're dealing with some scary shit like eagles and, things like bears or were horses. Like even this level of like, you're either big and fucking terrifying. Even like Komodo dragons would probably be a thing around where you are. And it's all screaming back in your mind, those legends, that fear. I think that's factoring in as you're feeling the weight pressing down and down and down on your shield, and your arm is starting to weaken.
100%.
As we turn to the bear's turn to just prove that point. So here we are. We're still in our bear form, so we are limited here. But it is going to go in and try and bite you. So you feel that weight all of a sudden moves forward on that shield. Because it has that human intelligence, even in its true form, whatever this fucking thing is. It is not fighting you like a wild animal. It is fighting you like an intelligent being. As it goes in and presses down, and you suddenly feel this huge amount of weight as it's buckling down on top of you, and it tries to go for your throat here. That's gonna be an 18.
No.
Okay, fuck. How do you avoid that? Like, it is pressing everything it's got on you. What is the move?
I'm doing everything I can to like be as small as I can behind the shield and let the shield do as much of the work for me. Yeah. So like it's just like a
I think also probably the voice of your father, and it's like when you're fighting a beast, never show it your neck. Keep your neck protected, right, as it is trying to actively get around you. Those jaws going, because of one bite on your jugular, and it is all over. So you are doing everything you can, like that advice is thundering in your head as it tries and goes in with a bite, or with its claws underneath that. The first claw, it cannot land a blow on you. It, like, rams into your armor, and you feel the bruises on your ribs, but you are fine as you are holding it back and holding it back. A 19 with that second claw.
That will hit.
That one. So finally, like, the scarlet tear of pain comes through you, but it's fine. You've protected your neck and your vitals, even with this, like, armor, you know, as it shreds through your poor goddamn chest piece that has taken multiple blows at this point. You are still going, but it is going to get you for... that's gonna be 13 points. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. Plus 5. 18 slashing damage as it goes and digs across, but you're fine. You don't have to take that con save, and your neck is protected. I think that's all that's going through Tony's mind, like, as you are surviving against this attack. Shit. And we come back up, you see the tiger gets pushed back, and, like, you hear a wham of a tree slamming, like, as a branch falls down, and you see Ravain's blade becomes, like, enlightened with this golden, like, radiance as he goes, and he strikes, like, down a ferocious blow that the cat manages to avoid at the last moment, as they are locked in mortal combat. And then, Aoife, we come to you.
So Aoife is going to... Man, she's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
She is hurting herself, so she is going to spend her action casting a Cure Wounds on herself to heal up a little bit, and then she's going to use her bonus action looking at Rook, who's just been...
Oh, yeah.
Just beaten down by this wolf, and, like, Rook threw this look at her like, I'm gonna beat you up. So Aoife takes it as, like, that she hasn't done anything to help Rook, and it's like, fine, I'm sorry I couldn't get underneath from a fucking boar to heal you. And she's going
Rook
to get
is like I am doing now, is swinging her head like you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And again, I think that rolls over, like, with the insight, like, it reads as pure disdain, like, ungrateful nonsense to you, Aoife. She's just shaking her head, but, I mean, probably Lou and Tony are like, that's a gesture that's like, that's not what it's about. But, like, that is missed in the heat of battle and the failed insight. There is Rook clearly has some fucking problem with you, Aoife, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. This has been coming for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly Rook has some shit, going on. Fuck her.
But not able to do anything else for her turn, really, but she's going to use her bonus action to give Rook a bardic inspiration as a pittance.
Right.
It's like, get off my ass!
Okay. Just gonna say, Katie, Rook refuses to use it if it comes to her turn, so there you go.
Ow. Alright. But with that, my spirit house gets to make an attack. So it's going to lumber on over towards this bear and give Tony a helping hand.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, hot damn, with a 25 to hit.
Oh, God. Club it.
And 10 force damage.
Oh, thank God. So, Tony, you finally feel, because you've been, like, bearing literally hundreds of pounds on this thing, and finally a big slug comes in from this stone, like, guardian that Aoife has animated. So for the first time in, like, 18 seconds, you've had a breather where you can stand up to your full height, right, and your spine kind of cracks as you finally get to, like, feel, like, good and powerful. This thing is slugged. And even though the bear takes, like, a big hit, you know, it just swings its, like, head back over at this point, but it's squaring off with both of you, so good slug. Statue.
And that is her turn.
All right. And then that brings us down to Rook, who, right, yeah, I think, go ahead, Lou. Just fighting for a damn life over here.
Just chipping away. All right, so she's gonna go ahead.
Because we got the wolf on deck, so...
That's gonna be 11 plus 9, so 20.
Yep. Yep.
And she gets this, and she gets this, and one of these.
Yeah, Rangers. It's like all the fucking different dice.
Alright, that's pretty good for once. 12 plus 4, 16 divided by 2, so 8 points.
Okay. Ooh, it's looking so close.
One more!
Alright, she'll use the inspiration. she doesn't really care, because she also actually doesn't have that big a problem with Aoife, as Aoife's, like, you know, imagining in her head, but I think Aoife sees, like, oh, she's not gonna use it. Like, what the fuck is happening, right? Like...
I may as well use it. That's only... Sure. We'll use it for the attack. D8. Good. Alright, so that will bring that to a 21.
Okay. To hit.
And it has to make a con save.
Ooh.
Since
I
you-
have to make a con save. I'm gonna say that's a fucking hot garbage roll, so I think that's a solid miss. What up?
So it is going to take the amount of thunder damage rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die.
Okay, that's 3.
Okay.
Take that 3 extra thunder
Yeah.
damage.
And then that's gonna be 8 slashing reduced to 4.
Okay. So, ironically, with that 3 damage, it would have been 2. It would have been 2 away without that. So holy shit. All right. You know what, Sage? Why don't you describe to me what this killing blow looks like? Because you did it. So here you go. Here you go, Bae. You describe it.
What was Rook using to hit this thing?
The scimitar. Right? Yeah.
The scimitar. Yeah, so as Aoife just like throws this bardic inspiration, it's hard. You could hardly call it inspiration.
Oh, yeah. It's like barely. Whatever.
It's like, get your fucking ass in the game, and just with that, with the with the rainbow-shaped felt in Rook's pocket, you just hear almost this like wet fart of like thunder. Just give that little extra and pushes it away and knocks it down onto the ground.
I'm living for this. Yeah. So the wet fart of damage is just enough to like get it down, and you know Rook is standing over the unconscious form of this wolf, like, alright, well, fine. And looking at her like scimitar, like, what the fuck just happened? Like, and you hear from above this voice you haven't heard in the last, few minutes, like, enough! Fine. Alright. You have proved your worth and piqued my queen's interest. So, once you are done with the root brains that dwell here, the huntress invites you to her court. Assuming you can make it in one piece.
Aoife, look. Aoife gives a sardonic bow in response as they flee.
Yeah, and they don't flee. I mean, you fucked them up, right? So, like, the only one who's still standing is this bear that is very much bleeding and moves from a clearly offensive position to stand over their fallen. Like, probably the wereboar is right next to you, and, like, this, like, growl that chills your bones comes over.
We will reach down and try to help the werewolf get up.
And you see her face, like, she makes, like, a gesture with her chin, and, like, her face transforms back into sort of it's a wizened woman, maybe human, maybe half-elf. She's looking at you with her graying hair, and just the look, her eyes are still that bright yellow color, and just the distrust you see, like, as you reach out. And she says, your friend has been cursed. Give them this, and they will not bear it, if they do not wish. And she, like, pulls a scroll, like one of those tiny little, kind of like Japanese style, like, scrolls out and hands it to you. This curse you mortals think is thus is nothing but a blessing to us. So if she wishes it, she may keep it. But I know how ridiculous you mortals are.
Well, that'll be up to her. And believe it or not, she's in some way been in that form before on one of our adventures, so maybe she will want it.
She, and you see her inhale deeply. She says, yeah, she bears a real curse, doesn't she? And she, makes that dog sound, right when they want to get something out of their nose. She's like, I need to get away from you. You all smell like shit.
Lou takes the little scroll and she's like, well, thank you. And we'll just walk away from her.
Yeah, and you see, she goes and she, lifts her her boar companion who's fallen just on her back. And the one who was wearing the owl mask actually now, in a jump that's, way too fast to be mortal. Definitely never, ever been mortal in their whole lives. Pads over, and touches, the bear, with a glowing green symbol, and the bear comes back to themselves, and you feel your spell break in an instant, Aoife. Then we'll go over to the fallen boar, and then, restore them all, seemingly. Well, look forward to seeing you all again. Arrow has said great things about you all.
Well, I look forward to our next meeting being, well, hopefully a little less bloody.
Don't. Just because you've survived here doesn't mean I'll be doing you any favors. Carry on.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah. And they kind of limp off, right? And then, she does the same for the were-rat. It's, squaring off with Remain. Remain is, fucking bleeding, copiously, but kind of limps over to you all and says, what? A taste of Fey diplomacy, it seems.
Not the kind I was prepared for, personally. But I do think, based on what I know about the other court we're about to walk into, we need to clean the fuck up before we go in there. We look like shit.
Yes. Seems you all keep rather strange company. With that, we'll move out of the main events of this episode. Congratulations, guys, for surviving. That was just a little taste, of some Tales of the Valiant stat blocks. How'd you feel about that?
I felt the teeth.
I felt the weight of that bear.
Yep. And that is, the hallmark, right? Player characters in Tales of the Valiant, a little bit stronger, but absolutely sorry the enemies. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna go and tell the editor on Monster Vault immediately, Megan Markle, who's a hero, that these were awesome, and I had a great time destroying my players with them. But before that, of course, obviously, and before we do outros, we have a letter that we have to do for this episode. So this is a dear letter that we receive, at some point in the middle of all this to our own Lavira Saf. So Sage has volunteered to read this very official notice. So let's go ahead, Sage, and hit us with that.
Dear Luvira Saf, it is our pleasure to inform you.
I'm sorry, start again, but holy shit, the administrative voice. Alright, because I'll put music under it, so please start again, but Jesus, alright, wonderful. 100% approval rating.
Dear Luvira Sath, it is our pleasure to inform you that you have passed your initial exams and have been formally accepted to the first level of the university's Practical Arcane Studios Correspondence course. Small fireworks.
Woohoo, woohoo.
You are now formally recognized as a novice wizard within the confines of the Eldrin Empire and have access to the privileges that come with the status. The full extent of these privileges vary from province to province in accordance with local legislation. However, the following are accessible within the formal branches of the university located in the cities Phelan, Chasiana, and Ashtar. Full access to the public libraries, branches, private collections, specifically the wings approved for initiate study. Vouchers to receive basic components deemed necessary for your course studies. Redeemable at the student union of any university branch and at the selected partnered retailers.
I'm dying because this is like a real life job.
3. Membership to state-approved maker spaces and storage facilities. For a full list of registered facilities, see the attached form. We look forward to your continued enrollment in the Practical Arcane Studies course. Upon receipt of your next tuition installment, we shall ship the text and materials required for the Level 2 of the course. Happy casting. Warmest regards. Tobias Oliana, Arcane Studies Correspondence Coordinator.
Oh my god. Lou immediately takes it, shoves it back in an envelope, and sends it to Frida and says, put this in the icebox, Ma.
So congratulations, you have passed your course. And the government has recognized you are a level 1 wizard. Congratulations.
That's so funny.
I just love these online courses that they have these days.
I'm sorry, the online doesn't exist. It's a correspondence course.
So much letter writing. How do people do it without a magical chicken hut?
You know what? I'm fucking obsessed with the fact that that was vaguely Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm living
Get that voice ready, just in case we ever meet this NPC.
My whole fucking life for that. So, yes, congratulations, you all, for surviving this fucking episode. Oh my god. Alright, let's do some damn outros. So some cool stuff. Before we say farewell, hey, Sage, you have a cool thing published. Do you want to tell the people about it?
Oh my goodness. So, for our podcast audience, I'm holding it up for visual display. But this is the Kobold Guide to Role-Playing. So it is a very cool little essay anthology printed that you can buy online on koboldpress.com by searching Kobold Guide to Role-Playing. And it is all essays that are focused on different aspects of roleplay, either facilitating it as a GM or improving your skills as a player. And I wrote an essay on how to build and facilitate character arcs in your roleplay adventures. Yes.
So that is out. I'm so happy. As a Kobold Press team member, feeling very proud and happy that Sage is included in this wonderful cast of awesome people who wrote this book. So like Sage said, if you go to koboldpress.com, the Kobold's Guides are a whole section on our website, so you can check it out there. I'm not sure if it's 100% out at the time of this posting, but we are definitely in the works of making the Kobold's Guide to Role-Playing audiobook as well. So even if you don't want to order a physical copy or a digital version, we do have an audiobook copy on the way. So anyone can enjoy it. And I'm so happy, Sage. That's so freaking cool to see that. So hell yeah. I also did, just me, Celeste, want to give you an update on the Venture Maidens campaign guide fulfillment status. So if you haven't been looking at the Discord, which, by the way, you should, because the collapse of social media, blah, 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 who the fuck knows what platforms are going to be where? But you know what will be there? Our Discord, which is full of kick-ass people, including a channel that is all about the Venture Maidens campaign guide. So if you are one of those people who are like, what the fuck is happening? Get in there, because you get real-life updates from me, the other stressed person who's sitting there at the other end of this Kickstarter. So, if you have not been watching the news, good things are happening. The Venture Maidens campaign guide has still about 500 orders left to fulfill as of a couple weeks ago. This week, about 200 orders were shipped out, so those are people who are still waiting for their hardcover books, so you should be seeing those shortly. I know we've had fans in the UK confirm that they are getting their orders here, so that is good news. We have also heard from 2C Gaming. if the story holds true, fingers crossed, February 9th, that week, another 200 or so orders are going to be shipped out. That means basically that will close down all of the orders that are not collector's box orders. Once that has gone out, exactly 109 orders, about 5 of which are me personally, so 104 orders will be shipping out towards the end of, and let me get this right, because I know it's important. So here we go, as I'm looking. Yes, 2C has committed to shipping those collector's boxes out late March, early April, so that means that's the shipping date. You guys, don't send me hostile emails in that range, because give it a few days, give it a couple of weeks to get those to you, but those will be all of the collector's boxes, and then we are done. We are 100% done with fulfillment on this Kickstarter. We can all believe in the beauty of a finished book that I finished writing and editing almost 2 years ago now, and it'll all be good and done, and we can all rejoice as a community again at that point. So, keep your eyes out. I have been bullying 2C Gaming every single day, calling with obsessive emails and phone calls to make that happen. So, we are hoping that by that point it will all be done, all fulfilled. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, for your belief. Holy shit. Next one will be so much better. I swear to you on all the gods. So with that, thank you. That's the update. But of course, before we go, we also love to take some time to say thank you to our Patreon donors. Patreon is a website where you can donate to the creators you love, monthly or like one time annually. We don't make any like overt money for making the show. We're not part of a platform that like just gives us money for posting episodes. So our Patreon donors are the one only primary source of our income. So we always want to take some time to say thank you to our 2 highest donor Patreon tiers. So our Arnie's Cohorts tier and our Pharaoh's Drinking Mate tier. So let's go around the horn and say some thank yous. So thank you so much, Debbie.
You are muted, Katie.
I know,
fucking muted.
I saw Target just added a "You Are Muted" mug to their roster, so officially streamers
Incredible.
being muted are part of normal culture. So we'll have to get those.
Thank you to my girl Curry.
Thank you, Muffin, at the one on Drury Lane on Twitter, formerly known as and currently known as X.
And thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
Thank you so much, Richie113 on our Discord.
Thank you, Tony.
And our next tier, Farrah's Drinking Mates. Thank you, Nadia.
And thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Markalai, one of our beautiful Discord mods. Thank you.
Thank you to Fable.
Thank you, Destiny.
And thank you, Sheepish Gnome.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you to Mrim.
Thank you, Noon, from our Discord server.
And thank you, Brittany.
Thank you so much, Alan, at Obsidian Cyrix, also owner of Dwarven Cake Rations. Listen to us on the podcast for details of how to... Oh my god, Sage is eating one right
Did you
now.
order more? I ate mine immediately when I got home from PAX.
Same.
Oh my god. Yes. If you didn't know, we have a awesome new ongoing sponsorship with Dwarven Cake Rations. So it's the Bermuda Rum Cake Company is the company we have partnered with. Now if you go to BermudaRumCakes.com, you can actually go and get special Venture Maidens branded rum cakes. Look, right now if you're in the chat, you can see that right now. Go to that link. Every cake you buy comes in a beautiful branded Venture Maidens box with a fun random die, and we get a direct portion of that sale, and you get free cake. And a small business makes money? There's no better way to spend your money.
Listen, the cakes are huge. They're delicious.
good.
They're so moist.
And they're all,
you can have them
all the
forever.
flavors. Any flavor you want. Honestly, I love the chocolate flavor. I know Sage is like dark and stormy for life, but like, Holy
I'm with you, Sage. I am with you,
No,
Sage.
if you're a chocoholic like me, if you sit on the couch and you're like, oh my god, all I'm gonna do is destroy this chocolate bar and watch this episode of CSI,
This was
you
a
need
mistake
to
to
go...
talk about this. I need it right now.
Okay, yeah. All right. I'm sorry, but that was Ellen. Thank you, Ellen, from Patreon. Oh, you're muted again, Katie.
Katie.
But...
Oh my god! I think I honestly slapped my keyboard.
Yeah,
when I
because
was
you were
laughing.
too. Yeah, it was the chocolate versus Stormy. Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, thank you so much to our wiki master, Ben, aka Flower Crown Gaming, you beautiful human.
That's
Goes the
it.
other way.
That's it, gang. First episode of a double recording done. Can't wait for
Holy
the next
shit.
spicy one. You ready, guys? All right.
Fucking ready. I'm born
Oh,
ready.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And until next time... Venture away, you fucking beautiful humans. Bye-bye.